AirTag has been ordered. I'll be getting it a week from today. I decided to opt for the Belkin extra cheap keychain because, sorry, buying a loop that attaches the tag to my keychain that cost more than the tag itself just didn't sound appealing to me. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper into AirTags now that they've been launched to talk about why I think these could be a pretty massive game changer. Let's begin. The reason I'm kind of getting excited about this is because I'm getting somewhat of the same vibes when AirPods first came out, except there doesn't appear to be as much backlash. I mean, when AirPods first launched, people hated the design, they thought it was ugly, and then it grew on them over time, and they quickly became the most popular wireless headphones in the world, and they became a staple of fashion in airports and in public places. You just see people with AirPods all the time now. A lot of grocery store workers, surprisingly. They can hear me, but they still got their AirPod in. And that took a little bit of getting used to when it came to the design. But with AirTags, people are generally fine with them. I mean, I don't see that many people complaining, aside from the fact that the tag all by itself is kind of useless and you have to buy a little accessory to actually attach it to things. Honestly, from a business perspective, I think that was a genius move, because if Apple would have actually manufactured a tiny little plastic ring around the AirTag that actually gave it a little hole so that you could just buy a $29 AirTag and then add it to your keys without a loop, these would be far less profitable. In fact, I bet adding a little plastic ring around it that would allow you to attach it to your keys and stuff, that would probably make the AirTag cost $50, just because they wouldn't have as much profit revenue from all of these loop accessories and Belkin accessories that they sell directly through Apple. They're making so much money off those things because those little keychain attachments have been scaled for production for years, and I bet that the cost to make those little plastic attachments is probably below 10 cents, but they get to sell them for, you know, $10, $12 a piece. But honestly, I'm not too mad about that because it allows people to get a bit more creative with how they integrate AirTags into their life, and Apple prioritized kind of making it really compact, very basic and round and simple, so that whether you want to throw it in your car or duct tape it to your bike, or even some people put it in their wallet, there's not excess plastic or excess space on there that's taking up room that doesn't need to be there. And I think the main reason AirTags are going to be the best-selling geo-tracking device out there, I understand why Tile is worried, I would be too if I were them right now, is because Apple has really honestly nailed the convenience factor with these things. I kind of go back and forth on whether or not I would have preferred having a slightly worse battery life, but one that was rechargeable, either through Apple Watch Charge Puck or something else they could come up with, just because personally I don't like having to go to the store and having to buy batteries. Like, even if it results in a weaker battery life, I wouldn't mind just having to recharge it. And I know batteries degrade, I'm no engineer, I don't know the science of this, but in my opinion, if there was a way for the battery to be recharged every 6 months and it could still last comfortably over 5 years, I would rather opt for that than have to every single year swap it out with the little watch puck batteries that they opted for. But a lot of people probably aren't like me who have Apple Watch chargers sitting around, so it made sense for Apple to say, you know what, you don't have to think about charging this thing, and it'll last over a year with the battery it comes with. And I think it was very intuitive of them to design it so that basically you take it out of the box, there's no cables, there's not even Apple stickers, and as soon as you take the plastic off, it boots up for the first time. It instantly has that simple, easy to understand little iOS pop-up animation. You connect to it, set it up, and pair it with your Apple ID and everything, and then you don't even think about it. Not having to go through an app or not having to go through settings in Bluetooth to interact with this device instantly makes it far more approachable and far more tempting and understandable to the average consumer. And yes, I still do agree, Apple has a lot of brand power. They have a lot of brand recognition, and people have a certain expectation when buying Apple products of them working reliably and them being very simple, and I think this is a product category that actually made a lot of sense for Apple to enter. I used to not always feel that way. Leading up these past 2 years, finding out about Apple developing their own geo-tracking device, I was kind of like, you know, do they really need to go into that market? What's the big deal? But now thinking about the Find My network and how many registered Apple devices Apple has across the globe that are going to be able to ping other devices encryptedly, they have a chance of having the most accurate, like, most reliable geo-tracking service in the world simply because of how many devices they have enabled. And I was honestly expecting Apple to kind of pull another Apple move and make these AirTags $50 or $70 a piece, or require you to buy a big pack of them in order to get them at a good deal. And they actually surprised me. Like, they genuinely shocked me with pricing them at $29, because I didn't think Apple would be willing to sell a device with a battery and a chip that is actually priced that low, and the 4-pack at $100 is even better value, and I think that's also another genius move on their part because they know people are probably thinking of 3 different things to attach AirTags to, so you get one more in that pack, and that instantly makes them think, oh, okay, I gotta give this to someone. It'll make a perfect little Christmas gift thing because it's easy to understand. You know, your mom and dad can probably set them up, they're so simple, and your grandparents could understand it, and it's not too expensive that there's a bunch of weight to going out and buying one, like, ooh, geez, oh my god. AirPods to even average consumers can be a little pricey sometimes, of like, oh man, I wanted to get AirPods for my brother or sister's birthday or something, but man, they're $160, ooh, $200. That's kind of a big purchase, but a lot of people that are just shopping in an Apple store or going on the Apple website thinking of, could I get something nice from Apple for my loved one, for my relative, and now knowing that they have an option that's only $29, which is pretty approachable, that could easily integrate into their life, that gets to skip so many of those steps that other tile trackers have to work with, and it's going to be part of that Find My network that's so reliable, and with the ultra wideband chip providing the precise motion tracking down to the inch of where that item is. I think this is pretty awesome, and it's not every day Apple enters a new product category like this, which is why I think I'm kind of actually excited to try out the AirTag myself. Watching all the early access unboxing videos and impression stuff, it was genuinely reviving that Apple sheep hope in me again, of like, this is the type of Apple product we didn't think we needed, but now that it's here, it actually sounds pretty awesome. And honestly, I'm struggling to find a use case for it in my life, just because I spend so much time from home, and I frankly have a pretty good system down of where the keys go, so I'm not losing things very often. Not sure if I'll end up keeping the AirTag I ordered, just because that's, you know, 45 bucks I could spend on something else that I might actually end up using, and I'm gonna also have to go to the store and buy batteries for this thing a year later, and knowing me, I'm probably the type of guy that will just let the AirTag battery die and then not remember to change it for a long time. So I'm excited to see so many people getting their hands on them, and I'm glad that Apple has actually entered this market, and I do think they could very quickly become the most popular geotagging device out there. So well done, Apple. I'm somewhat impressed. I think this will be another big product category that Tim Cook will be known for, especially when we see all the news articles of AirTag found at the bottom of a lake, or AirTag helped family track down a pet, or AirTag helped family track down such and such. There's probably going to be a lot of heartwarming stories about AirTags, and that's going to make people want to buy them, and with their reasonable pricing and intuitive design, I think they've got a home run here. And I honestly didn't think AirTags were going to be that big of a deal leading up. I think I was just getting sick of the leaks and us not really knowing whether they exist or not, but now that they're here and we understand them, we know the design, and we know the price point, I am impressed. I think Apple did a great job. Anyway, there's your Apple praise for the day. I know a lot of you probably don't even consider me an Apple sheep after yesterday's video, but I hope that can be an isolated instance, okay? I don't like the new iMac, but I love a lot of the other stuff they're doing, including now AirTags. So this is your Apple sheep here. I'll see you guys in the next one.